Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self-love, self-care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about saving our youth. We have a special guest, Miss Robbie Brandon, in the building. I'm Lady Bounce.
And I am Ace Slate.
Hey.
Hey. All right, so we know that the children are our future, as Whitney so elegantly told us so many years ago. So Sister A Slate has a mindfulness minute to kick all of this into gear for
us. Keep me together. Okay, we might have a special guest voice here. We might have a special guest
That's
voice.
All right.
Our mindfulness minute is the Mast Year. I know that I will have lean years and bountiful years. Years when I am weak and years when I am strong. I give thanks for the thick and thin, knowing that every cycle has its purpose. Every third year or so, oak trees will have what is called a mast year, when the acorn crop will be much more bountiful than usual. This does not simply have to do with the amount of rainfall during the spring, but serves an evolutionary purpose. During that year, there will be so many acorns that the squirrels, the deer, the birds, all of them will not be able to eat them all. That will lead to a crop of oak saplings to cover the floor. As you look back on your years and meditative practices and things that you have made seen, check out some of your lean years and your plentiful years. You may have some harsh judgments on your mind for the years when you practice meditating less often. Release the unforgiving thoughts, knowing that everything has natural variabilities. You will come to complete maturity when the time is right. Just keep reaching towards the light. Year after year, reach toward the light. And then your crop will one day be plentiful. Our mindfulness minute is the Mast Year. Everything happens in due time.
Amen.
So let's jump in here.
All right, so obviously we know, because the three of us deal with our youth and we work with our youth. But for those who don't know, can you tell us, why should we invest in our youth? Why do they matter?
You want me to start?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, believe it or not, and we all need to look at our children. Our children determine our community. It's like they're the litmus test. If we don't take care of our children, then we will not have a community. We don't have a future. Like you said in the beginning, our children are our future. And if we do better, if we take care of our children, that kind of sets the stage for how we do everything else. And so no matter whether people think we're doing good in the community with finances or with building or with whatever, agriculture, whatever you're doing in the community, if you don't take care of your children, that's not sustainable. So I look at our children as priority. Their education is priority, because they're going to determine, we can start something, but we can't sustain it by ourselves. And so our children are the ones we need to make sure who are able to keep things going. So we have to take care of them now. We have to take care of them mentally, physically, socially, all the 8 domains of wellness. We got to make sure that they're ready. If they're not ready, then we're in deep trouble.
I totally agree with that. So as a teacher myself, I definitely pour into our youth. I've been doing this now for 15 years. But what do you think teachers should be saying or doing more of to invest in our youth and cultivate our youth, as opposed to just shoving curriculum into them? What should we be saying? What should we be doing when it comes to our youth?
What our education system has to realize, and I've been a nurse for 30 years, and the kids, I've been working with youth for 20, in mental health and in the community. And you can have the best teachers in the world. And after this quarantine and me trying to teach my grandson, I think you all need to have a quadruple raise. Because I'm going to tell you, whoopee. But teachers are, if y'all focus on what you do, what we have to do is the education system has to realize that somebody has to address social service issues. Teachers can't be the parent, the teacher, the social worker, the pastor. They can't do all that. In order to raise the kids, that thing we used to say back in a long time ago, and we still say it. It takes a village to raise a child. It honestly does. And I think people expect our teachers to be that entire village. And you can't be. it's a partnership. And so the day our education system realizes we have to go back to, there's got to be a case manager or a social worker in there to help address the issues of our youth. We have an astronomical number of kids right now in the Dayton Public Schools that are homeless, you know, and so if they come to school hungry, then they want the teachers to figure out how to feed them. If they come to school without supplies, and they want the teachers to figure that out. That's not all the teacher's job. You know, there's got to be other roles in the school system and outside the school system to wrap our hands around what's going on with our youth today. Because what we're seeing now is almost unprecedented. I was a nurse when crack was big. So we had a big crack epidemic back in the 90s, you know, 80s and 90s. And those kids are parents now. And nobody's looking at helping them be better parents. So that takes some of the burden off of the teacher. So you have to look at the parents, and you have to look at social services, and you need to support the teachers. I totally am all for supporting you, but I think you all just keep doing what you're doing, keep on top of what's going on, keep best practices, keep the kids learning. Teachers also need to understand what you're dealing with mentally with these kids. Social emotional skills, they need to understand that these kids that we're dealing with, I'd say 80% of the kids I work with have trauma issues. And so those are the kids that you see. So you need to be aware of that kind of stuff. Your awareness will help you make appropriate referrals to the right sources.
Speaking of it takes a village, you can say it, mamas. Speaking of it takes a village, what is Sunlight Village? What is Sunlight Village, and how did you get it started?
Okay, Sunlight Village, actually, believe it or not, started in 2006. We started, I started it as a supportive services because I was working on the mental health units, and I was seeing our young Black males and females, our kids, our teenagers, our young adults come off the unit, and parents had no idea what to do with them. You know, they're like, okay, I'm sending them home now. Now what do I do with them? And so we started out, me and a couple other professionals, just being a supportive services. We used to do like support groups in the community. But then when we referred kids or parents to services, it took like 30 days for them to get in. So we jumped into providing mental health services, direct mental health services. So we have counselors and therapists that do mental health services on site at our location. But in doing that, we honestly opened a can of worms. We did. Because when you're dealing with children's mental health in a high-risk population or underserved communities like West Dayton and the inner city where I'm from, you can't just deal with their mental health. You got to deal with all the issues. You got to deal with, because if you come into my office hungry and I address your depression and you leave out hungry, I really didn't address anything. You know, so it has to be really comprehensive. So we started doing more comprehensive work. We started looking at how, if I'm coming in talking about your mental health, what outside services can we provide? So we've always been interested in kids. So we work with the courts to do a youth program, which proved to be helpful to some parents. Because a lot of the kids that we were hoping to do counseling with, we knew we had to work with the entire family. So we do a program with the courts where we help bridge kids from from juvenile detention back into the community. And A-Slate, you work with our kids on an art project, and they absolutely love. They want you back. So that's one piece of Sunlight Village. So helping the parents address that the issues and the trauma of violence and things and dealing with their teenagers is one piece. We also work with the Marketplace Movement Church to do a food pantry. So we address food issues, and we have peer community health navigators that actually can help people in our community connect to resources, beds, furniture, clothing, all that kind of stuff. Wow. So it sounds like we do a lot, but we can't do it without partners. Each one of those pieces has a partnership. So it's not just Sunlight Village. Like we partner with Greater Dayton Premier Management to do parenting classes. So that's when I say it takes a group to really make a supportive network to really make this kind of stuff work. And we have an amazing community of partners that help get this done.
And I am grateful to have been able to collaborate with you and the young people over there. That was an amazing experience. And I want to come back. I want to get back, even if we have to zoom it out. It was refreshing to see how you all operated, and you do take on a totality of issues, not just one thing. Yeah. So with you doing all that, because I've seen you, I don't know if you know, I be watching like a stalker when I'm riding up 3rd Street trying to get to the park. You either out there doing something for the pantry, setting up something for a yard sale, doing something with the building where you're housed at. I'm like, either you at the church or you at the building. I'm like, this woman, does she ever go home and take a nap, or do you get to sit down and eat? Like, what do you do for self-care?
Well, I promise I'm not lacking a meal. I promise you that much. Because I love to cook. But as far as self-care, believe it or not, as a registered nurse, I was a contract nurse, so I made really good money. And I walked away from all that because I feel like the Lord, my calling was mental health, right, in our community. So I stepped out on faith, and that's when we put brick and mortar in place for Sunlight Village. And I'm telling you right now, I have so much more peace, even working at half the salary that I made, because I'm doing what I love to do. And I tell those kids all the time, I just left juvenile detention, and they said, Miss Robbie, why do you do this? I said, to see you smile. If they smile, I smile. That makes my heart, and this might sound a little cliche, but I love what God has assigned me to do, and I take that wholeheartedly. Like, my prayers are for my kids. I ask God for strength to do this, because it's tough when you see a 14-year-old child on his way to adult prison. It's tough when you hear of a child telling me, I'd rather be locked up than outside right now because I don't have nowhere to go. So those kind of things, I couldn't do that in my own spirit. In my own soul, I couldn't. So I have to have the strength of God in order to do that. So when I partner with people, I have to make sure that they're strong enough mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically to handle this kind of work. I don't need nobody can come in that's got more attitude than the law. This ain't about us.
Right.
It's about those we serve.
Mm-hmm. And I know, I just love that. You was about to make me cry, but I got to be strong enough to handle this thing, right?
That's all right. I cry all the time. I cried yesterday. I went downtown yesterday, and I heard one of my kids got life in prison at 17 years old. And so what I did, I literally had to leave the floor and go down to my office, cry and pray, and then get back on the floor. But it's just so heartbreaking. That's why the prevention stuff has to be done. We have to start doing stuff now as a community to support our kids. I'm telling you, just think, if we don't have it, if all our kids, if we don't give them the technology, if we don't bring them up to speed with what's going on in our society and what's going on in our country, who's gonna do it?
Yeah. Lady Bounce, I know that Miss Robbie, I had went at the program, and they had set up for the kids to be able to do their homework. They created like a Chrome lab. I know you can agree that's something really good, because her being a teacher, she is as committed as you are. Y'all are wonderful in the community. Yeah, y'all just wonderful. I'm just gonna not babble here because I end up crying. Let me just catch myself again.
Well, I am definitely a big, gigantic cheerleader for our youth, for our kids, and any kid that I've ever interacted with, I call them my kids. Those are my kids. I'm gonna fuss at you like I do my kids. I'm gonna love on you like I do my kids. You may not get the spanking that you really, really deserve, but you're definitely gonna get, some mama love when you come into my office or come into my space, because a lot of our kids, while they want their teachers to be loving and friendly, what they don't want is another friend. A lot of my students tell me that, some teachers that I work with think that, oh, you got to be the kid's best friend. But the kids I work with say, no, I don't need another 16, 17-year-old. I don't need an adult acting like a 17-year-old. I need an adult that's going to, be on me, that's going to love me and give me that loving guidance, but fuss at me when need be. But they really, really don't want us to be our friends. I think, as adults, the first thing that we do is we make that mistake when we go, oh, I got to talk like them, or I got to cuss like them in order to get them to listen. But in actuality, they want to be loved, but not, not the things that they get from their parents. And I do, love the parents I work with, but a lot of our parents, I feel, are inequipped to deal with the mental issues of their children, because they have so much trauma that they haven't dealt with, either lifelong trauma, their traumas with their lives in school, their educational background. So it's really hard. So I feel like, like you said, we work in the context of families. I can't just work with Tommy because I see him all day. No, I got to talk to Tommy's mom and go, well, how can I help you so you can help Tommy be better? what do you need from me as a teacher, that I can do? I mean, I got a lot of connects in the community. And so the first thing I ask my parents, I'll give them all a survey. What do you need from me? What do you want from me? Tell me how you want me to work for you. And I make sure that because I teach special education. So I make sure that I let my families know and the kids I work with that I work for you. What do you need? If I'm not in my office at 2:00 and that's where you need me to be, then guess what? I'm going to structure my day. So at 2:00, I'm in my office because that's where you need me, to be. So I could go on for days about, my kids and definitely, supporting my kids when they go through the juvenile system. I had a student last year, he got locked up during the school year. I went over there 4 days a week and tutored him and helped him with his work and advocated for him in court. When his mom didn't even show up in court, I was there every court appearance. And I understood, why she wasn't there and why she couldn't be there. So I said, that's okay. I'll stand in the gap. I can't worry about, the other things in the way, but I'm going to stand in that gap and I'm going to do what I can. And when he graduated, I cried like a baby. You would have thought that I birthed that boy.
That was beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful sight. It really was. That y'all need to always be applauded more often. Well, not always, but be applauded more often. I really do believe that, as a mother of school-age children too, like, yes, it's just something. But Miss Robbie, we speaking of mothering, and I know one of the things for me with working with the young people in the community, it was difficult to get parents involved. So I want to know, how do you get parents involved? And I also want to ask about the mothers, the mothers movement that you have against police brutality, to stop police brutality. I know I'm not saying that right, but if you can elaborate on that for me.
Okay, I'll start with the parenting. I'm actually writing a book called "It's the Parents' Fault." Okay, now what?
Exactly.
And the parents, and I acknowledge, and now that we've acknowledged, okay, it's the parents' fault they act like that. Okay, so let's get over that. I'm over that now. Let's figure out what to do with it. And I know as a parent myself, I was off the chain. And I thank God that my children are stable or have any sanity. So I know that now our job is to support parents, because I'm almost 60. I'm 60. And anybody who's 30, 40, anything in there, 25, I know the support systems aren't there that I even had, so we have to support the parents, because we've got young ladies who've been molested, who've been beating, who are in abusive relationships, who are on drugs, and who've gone through cycles of poverty. And now we need to help them understand that they don't have to live like that.
Amen.
So putting programs in place to support the parents and strengthen the parents, then you can strengthen the child. So we can do counseling and support services for the children all day long, but they're going to go back home. And the parents, we all have issues. So whatever it is, and what we have to do is let the parents know that it's okay to talk about your issue, and let's try to help you get better.
Okay, so you let them know.
Yeah, the worst, when I'm talking to parents, like, girl, what's wrong? Okay, we got that. Now let's figure out how to make that situation better. You don't have to live like that.
I love that.
That you don't have to live the way you are right now.
I think that right there,
yeah,
that right there, you don't have to live like that. You don't have, that would make me more, it's more inviting. It would make me want to be like, okay, I'll see what she's talking about, because you're not being judgmental and you're not being too critical and you're not putting them down. So it's kind of like, okay, let's see what she got to.
And it's bringing people into the community is fine, but people have to build a relationship with families and with parents, so that I can trust them. Because our community has been raped for years. It has been. You come in, you get what you want, and you out the door, and you leave us barren. So we have to now build trust in our community. So people have to look like us, act like us, talk like us, be honest. When I say I'll do something, I have to follow through with it. Because I'm trying to build trust with parents. And so building that trust with parents and then letting them break down that little guard, man, I'm telling you, you can watch transformation every day. And it's absolutely amazing. I tell people all the time, girl, I'm only here because somebody didn't give up on me.
Woo, so say that.
Right. So that's what we have to, that's the way we have to tell our parents, I'm here for the long haul. I might fuss with you. I might not like what you did. We're gonna have to talk about it, but we're gonna get back on that train and we're gonna keep on pushing. And
that's why I love it.
That you have to give them. Yeah, you have to give them. You have to give them that. They're gonna come in high and you're gonna be like, what in the world happened to that? You know. So those are the kind of things we have to be able to understand that it's not, nobody gets fixed. You didn't get broke overnight.
Right.
You know, what's happening to you in your life didn't happen overnight, and you're not going to be better overnight. We're gonna work with you.
That's right. Now, what about the mothers of the movement to end police brutality?
Ohio Families United Against Police Brutality.
Okay.
And Adrian Hurt, Sabrina Jordan. There's some amazing moms, and these moms have lost their children by the hands of the police.
Okay.
And so they have formed an amazing organization that is out trying to change laws and policies and systems. Yes. So they actually have their move. I went to Columbus with them a couple of weeks ago, and they marched on the State House. It was absolutely beautiful.
It was. I saw the pictures. I was like, oh my God, I'm so jealous.
Oh man! But they're doing it. They do it all over. So they're raising money now to do a national march. I don't know whether it's statewide or national, but they have a GoFundMe page. But you have to look them up, and it's Ohio Families United Against Police Brutality, and they are doing amazing work. These women have been through hell and back.
Yeah.
When you lose children, and even Sabrina has lost 2 children. Ooh. You know, so her strength astounds me. You know,
I can't imagine.
But she also needs support. So people like me, you, who can support them in any way is worth its weight in gold. So they're doing great work. They've got an amazing team of women out in the fight, and you can't stop these women. They have been through it all already. You know, but they tough. There's
something beautiful about being a woman, our tenacity and our ability to adapt to change so fluidly, like just to go with the flow and just keep going. Like
when your children die, I don't think there's anything in the world that's worse. I
can't imagine.
So they done been hit with everything. They're like, come on, I'm ready.
Yeah, I have an aunt who recently lost her second and last child. She only had 2 kids, and she lost them both within a 3-year time span. And to see her walking, I'm talking about, if you wasn't a faith-filled person, if you was a non-believer, you would have to believe in something after seeing her. I mean, to see this woman still, my aunt would come out to the hospital with her hair combed, makeup on, dressed nice. So you think she on her Sunday's best, and she was a pillar of strength and love and grace. And it just was amazing to see. But I don't know how I would fare if something like that was to happen.
And those ladies, and believe me, they're still hurting. You know, they're adapting. So what we've done is we've partnered with them to create a support group for them. And we haven't done it through the pandemic very much, but we're getting ready to start it back. And it's just a support group so they can talk through their issues. Because anybody who's gone through that kind of trauma, we tend to push it down and stuff it down and don't talk about it. But that tears our body up.
That is dangerous.
It's dangerous. So giving them the opportunity to heal. And I always say healing is like, you got to cut that wound open, clean it out from the inside out, let it heal from inside out, and then we're good to go. If I can touch that wound and it still hurts, it's not healed.
See, and we have to trust that. You were a nurse. We have to believe that wisdom coming from you. We have to trust that.
So it's painful to talk about it. Yeah. Grief is painful. But once you get through it and get to talking about it and begin to heal from it, then you can move in a little bit more peace and a little bit more strength. So I love these ladies. I'm looking at our team to really get that group back going.
Yeah, you can probably do a setup like this and do your healing.
Absolutely, I want to be in on that one.
Me too.
When I saw the pictures, I was like, man, like this is incredible. Like I just felt like you're watching this. I needed to be there. I needed to do something. Now I have no idea what I would contribute to said conversation, but I'm like, I just want to be in that circle, in that conversation. The love that was shared amongst those mothers was just incredible. And even for mothers who haven't, lost a child, just having a camaraderie of motherhood, saying, hey sister,
that's right.
I get you. It's not easy, and I'm here for you. Like that's the biggest thing, is that because so often we feel like we're alone, on
Ourselves.
these islands, and we're really not. Like the support is out there. We just have to be. It has to come at us the right way to make us open and receptive to it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they have a Facebook page and everything. Ohio Families United Against Police Brutality. Facebook page, you can look on there. They'll let you know where they're going next and so forth and so on. So yeah, they're doing the work.
Now, what about Sunlight Village? If we know there's a 15-year-old kid in the community and he doesn't have anywhere to go, how do we get him to be able to partner with your program? How does that work?
As far as just like services and needs some support,
Mm-hmm.
this is a phone call. What we do is if the child we have kids right now today who have no parents connected to them, or who have parents and the parents are not. I can't say that they're not supportive. They got their own issues, and we're just not able to connect with them as readily as we like. But one of the goals of something like this just involves the parent. So I think at the end of this month, we're actually having a parent and guardian dinner or luncheon for the parents and the guardians and the POs. Whoever's dealing with these kids, we want to be on the same page, because not only am I caring, but I'm also wise. And I know kids can do some staff splitting and tell me one thing and tell somebody something else. And if we all working on the same page, then it's easier to be. The consistency is going to be better. And the kids can't pull no wool over my eyes. I told them they just need to be glad that I am just they community grandma. And
I just look like this. I just look like this.
So that's a big part, is trying to get the parents involved, and it takes time. But once we get them involved, I mean, they're all in. It's nothing but a phone call away. So it takes some time. Some parents we do connect with. Sometimes we're trying to build relationships with, and it's a matter of time. They don't know me from Adam. But the team, our peers are from the community. They've been there, done that. I mean, like really been there, done that. And so they're really relatable to it. So the parents easily connect with the team, our mentors and navigators.
That's good. That's really good.
I like it. All right. So as we begin to wrap this up, this has been amazing. You definitely have to come back and talk to us some more as soon as the quarantines are lifted and we can really start to do these things with our youth and really put our hands on them like we need to, because Zoom is great, phone calls is great, but I think nothing beats that face-to-face, that hug, that touch, that reassurance that they really, really need. So yeah, we definitely have to come back. So as we wrap it up,
I will tell you this before you wrap up, that we meet with them Monday through Thursday from 1 to 4. So we have started our group, and what we do is each kid comes in, we take their temperature, they fill out a health screening. We try to do a little distancing until they start doing the rap battle last week, which was hilarious.
Dang, I missed it.
Man, let me tell you. Ernest filmed the thing, they did a rap battle, but it's important for us because they were basically out there. So it's important for us to start building them, getting them back in. The computer lab will be open next week on Tuesday. So we got tables set up where it'd be like 1 or 2 kids. So we're trying to keep that social distancing, but we have to bring them in. It's been long enough. And kids who are already, socially out there really need that support. So they're trickling back in slowly but surely, but I'm super happy to see their faces. Yep. So we put our hands on them. Yep. 4 times a week. They just went bowling last week. We could only take 10 kids. So we try to do the social distancing stuff and respect for wherever we go. But we have to see them.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right,
got 60 children.
Oh, 60. All right. All right, Sister Slate, hit us with that self-care assignment for this week.
Our self-care assignment for this week is make a difference, become a mentor, all right? Mentoring can be one of the most satisfying and rewarding experiences you'll ever have. Trust me, I know. You may be uncertain about what mentoring involves or whether you have the background and experience to succeed at mentoring. Many people considering mentoring often have some concerns and wonder what it's all about. Mentoring is the one-to-one or group relationship that one or more adults develop with one or more young people to help them develop and succeed. If you need to know more about mentoring, see Mrs. Robbie Brandon, or you can inbox myself, or just simply look up mentoring. But do your part if you can become a mentor. That's our self-care assignment for this week.
Thank you.
And it is. It is a great assignment to be called on by the Most High to be a mentor. Yes, yes, yes. Slide that in there. And before we leave, we always have to move over to our what?
Right.
Brain science.
All right, so our brain science for this week: 5 reasons to mentor a youth. As if Miss Robbie, Miss Sister Slate, and myself have not given you enough reasons, let me give you 5 more quick reasons to become a mentor. It's no surprise that research consistently proves the long-term effects of a mentor, particularly for our youth. A healthy mentoring relationship can be critical to achieving both academic and personal goals. Studies point to increases in confidence and performance, as well as decreases in risky behaviors for students who are mentored. Girls with a mentor are 2.5 more likely to become confident in their academic skills and their performance. Boys with a mentor are 3 times less likely to suffer peer pressure and anxiety, and 2 times less likely to develop negative behaviors. A mentor increases a student's likelihood of attending college by 50%. Teacher mentorship nearly doubles the odds of a student attending college. Youth in a mentor program are 46% less likely to use drugs and 27% less likely to use alcohol. So if those aren't reasons enough to consider being a mentor, mentors also benefit from investing in others. You get an increased self-esteem, well-being, fulfillment, and accomplishment are common positive outcomes for mentors. So please consider the benefits of mentoring a youth for you and for that youth. If you'd like to learn more about Miss Robbie and her program, she can be found on Facebook. Please look up the Ohio Families United Against Police Brutality and get in where you fit in. Please continue to fly with us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Anchor, SoundCloud, and wherever you get your favorite podcast. And as always, you can email us at flywithusla@gmail.com. I'm Lady Bounce.
I am A Slate.
And Miss Robbie, we thank you.
Thank you.
And we out.
God bless.